Oh my God, do you know what woman said to me? Hey, I'm Colette.
I'm Brooke.
And this is Midlife Mutiny.
Yep. We're back. Okay, so there was some technical issues, and then a pandemic, and then trying to save an entire portion of the population from systemic racism. Then 16-year-old birthday party. My 16-year-old. And
now we're back to teach you some stuff.
Yes, various other sundry life things. So we're back.
Thank you for sticking with us, for being patient. Hopefully, since we've taken our brief hiatus, you have stopped asking for permission and have been doing things, creating things.
Yes, it's you should have started on your way.
So we've been creating stuff for ourselves, but also our work for hire. And what we want to talk to you about today is writing post-COVID. The industry is going to change tremendously, once this pandemic ends and there's a vaccine. The industry's been going this way anyway. It's either Marvel movies or indies. So the likelihood of you writing a Marvel movie is probably not that good because they have a list of their people who are going to write it. And my guess is the people who are following us are indie writers anyway. So we want to kind of give you some tips about writing films that are going to get made, that are going to get produced.
Yep. I'm still stuck on Marvel. If you are a Marvel writer and you're watching this, you should maybe give us a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could use your money, Marvel.
Just on the off chance. So the thing with movies now and movie production is it's kind of like America in that the middle class is kind of getting squoze out. The age of taking your, your unusual, irreverent indie to Sundance and getting $1 billion deal at Universal are no more. It's the model is shifting as we speak. We did a film in 2014, and the model when we finished that is already completely different. Like
Quality Problems. It's available on Amazon.
It's amazing, but the model is changing. So you have to be able to shift with the time as a creative. Right now, the good news is everybody's inside and they're watching a lot of stuff that they wouldn't normally be akin to watch. I didn't use that word right. Anyway.
I'm still back on squoze. Is that a word?
Sure.
Okay.
I just made it one.
So everyone has binge watched almost everything there is to binge watch on Netflix and Hulu and everything. So people are looking for content. So we just want to tell you, when you're writing your content, basically don't write huge crowd scenes. They're not going to get made.
Yeah, if you're writing something timely right now, you can always expand it later. But we also get this with our regular gigs pre-pandemic. There's always change the budget, forget this, take out this, no driving scenes, no this, no that. There's a whole coda of things that we have to abide by for their budget. So understand your client or your market. If you're writing Lifetimes, understand that market. You're gonna have no curse words and no graphic sexuality. It's not gonna be Tarantino. It's gonna be thriller light.
And when you have big scenes, instead of writing we just did this in our last script. Instead of writing a big party scene, you set the scene outside the house, so you hear the music and you can hear some ADR voiceover stuff, but you only have your main characters and maybe a couple extras who are, in the background. You can cheat it.
Yeah. You have to cheat in a kind of an indie way right now. There's people, they're making movies that are like Zoom movies. They're shooting, one person's shooting one half of a movie, and then they're doing the cutaways and stuff like that to an entire different person in their house. If you're looking for something to do and you have the capacity to do it, like a camera, like we have, and an amazing director, like we have, start
Doug
shooting.
Purdy.
Yeah, Doug Purdy. Start shooting some stuff. I've written-ish a little thing that we're gonna shoot. And we are going to write our horror. Yeah. So there's a horror that we're writing, because horror is always kind of a pretty solid market. Everybody kind of wants horror, and they're super forgiving.
And it's a great genre, and it's a cheap genre, because it's, as long as there are no big special effects, it's ooh, monster in the closet. We're
Dude,
gonna
people-
die one by one.
People just want to be scared. And if you're a clever writer and you're a good writer and you think about what scares you, that's where I've always come from with writing thriller and horror. Think about what scares you and go from there. It's a pretty authentic place, and someone's going to get behind it if it's spooky.
And they're not. And if you think about like the best horrors, they don't have 100 people in them. They don't have huge locations. It's 5 people trapped in a cabin. You know, a couple people stuck in the woods. You can simplify it, and it all comes down to story. It always comes down to great characters, great dialogue, and a great story.
So those are basics right now. So if we're still quarantining, and if you're in the US, we're probably going to be doing this for a while because people are stupid and won't wear masks. So if you're quarantining right now, pivot towards what's going on with the market. Okay, they're doing isolated things. They're doing small casts. They're doing controlled atmosphere. Not a lot of exteriors. No group shots. No super pricey special effects, because that's a whole other set of crew people.
Also, stunts. It's not just someone doing a stunt. You have to have a stunt coordinator, a fight coordinator, you know, a firefighter on hand. It's not just one person, it's many. So think about that in your writing. And also, if you guys have any questions about what to do, what not to do, put it in the comments and we'll be happy to answer it. We've been hired to write 3 films during this whole quarantine process. So we get it, what Hollywood wants and what they don't want. And we're happy to help you.
Also, real quick side note, write for what's going on. There's craziness going on. I mean, there's a pandemic going on. What could happen in a pandemic, out of a pandemic, as a result of a pandemic? There's also Black Lives Matter and the entire racial makeup, the entire racial unrest that's going on right now. Okay, so let's say you're a white person. Write about your experience becoming woke or dealing with this or trying to teach this. Or there's so much to write on. You can write an allegory about it. You can write or direct, or this is it. Like, there's huge stuff going on. If you're not writing about it or composing music for it or painting about it,
you can make a difference. And social justice doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be preachy. They're great ways to infuse your own voice into your art and alert people to what's happening in the world.
And always consider your own perspective. Like, the greatest way that people relate to other people is through empathy. So if you describe something that has moved you, that means something to you, odds are it's going to reach 10 more people than it normally would have. If you're just presenting something and preaching, it's not going to resonate like something that comes from your heart.
So, perfect midlife mutiny philosophy about not asking for permission and just going for it. Rayma Boston, who is a young, brilliant writer who just graduated from college, she's African American, and she has a voice and wasn't quite sure how to use it and where to share it. And I said, hey, write a play. So she wrote a play about the protest and her experience, and it has 6 different characters. Everyone from a Karen to a militant, angry Black woman. And there's a range, and it's wonderful and smart and deep and honest and authentic. And rather than waiting for a theater to put it up, she's publishing a page a day on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. So RHEMA Boston, follow her and you can read her protest play. What a great example of using your art to make a difference, bringing in social justice and changing the world and letting your voice be heard. Brooke and I just want your voice to be heard, and we want you to stop asking for permission so that you get it out there.
You signing off?
Yeah.
We've done our deal for the day.
Yeah,
So
we've taught you how to write.
Yeah, and direct and paint and sing and do poetry and
have your voice heard.
There's a lot going on. So when you're not outside wearing your mask, go create. Get your voice heard.
I'm Colette.
I'm Brooke.
And this is Midlife Mutiny. I'm ending on a smile, so that way if the...
Wait, can you guys just hold there? Just hold like that? Exactly what you're doing. Just hold. there's zero reason I'm asking you to hold.
You're an
I just-
asshole.
Say bye.
Bye. Bye. See you next week.